Okay, hello, Amber. We are back once again for our Wednesday
And we
live.
can actually rub
We can
shoulders
actually rub
now.
shoulders. We are back. We're in Amber's office here in downtown Summerlin, and we are so excited today because we have been kind of dealing with a little bit of a storm over the last week with all the news that's been happening regarding what are they calling it? Biden's new housing rule, Biden's new mortgage rule, and how that's going to affect you. And we've gotten a whirlwind of phone calls from a lot of clients. I know Amber's been dealing with them more than I have. So we just thought it would be a good time to kind of come on board here, talk to you about what the reality is, talk to you about how the news might be spinning it to scare you, and then answer some questions. So while we are live today, first wanted to say thank you for joining us live. Amber Coleman, top 200 lenders in the nation. Amber Coleman is here with me.
Oh, thank you. Hi, guys.
She not only brings her knowledge and wisdom and her incredible, awesome attitude, but she brings hope to the table at all times, even when it's the bleakest of bleak. Remember the time when we were found out that COVID was happening and the whole world was shutting down? We were sitting here with rainbows and sunshines giving you the reality.
We were the only ones.
The only one. And we're still doing it. So thank you for joining us. We're really excited. My name is Laci. I'm a realtor here in Las Vegas, and Amber Coleman is, of course, one of the top 200 lenders in the nation who I am lucky enough to sit next to on a weekly basis. She not only serves Nevada, but many other states. You just call us. We'll probably be licensed there, right? We'll figure it out.
Let us know.
So today we're going to just talk about what I just mentioned. So this Biden's new rule or Biden's, it's always, I love how they try to.
It's always something that makes people click.
Yeah, it's clickbait. Clickbait. Is this a new thing that's happening? Absolutely. Is this something that we need to be aware of? Sure. But I want to talk about how it differs from the past and all those things. So first and foremost, what are we talking about, Amber? We are talking about the fact that on January 19th, 2023, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac announced an increase in loan level price adjustments, LLPAs. Man, that's a lot of acronyms. LLPAs effective with May deliveries. Basically, that there's going to be a change or an increase in the loan level price adjustments. Since I don't do loans, what does that mean?
I know that sounds like a mouthful, right? So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, when you're doing loans, so like when we talk about a loan program, a lot of times people will say, what's better, FHA or conventional? And it depends on the FICO scores. And here's the reason why. FHA doesn't have any price adjustments. Fannie Mae has loan level price adjustments. They've always had these. They just recently changed them. So what that means is if your FICO score is lower, you're going to have more of a price adjustment than a FICO score that's higher. What they just recalculated is the way they're calculating all of that.
Got it. So they changed the way they calculate your interest rates.
Your interest rates. They changed and it depends on a lot more things right now. And when you're looking at loans delivered in May, that means any loans that are being funded and recorded before right now, already have had this adjustment on it. So it's not something that's new. It hit the news last week. I think while we were on a live.
And we were in the middle of a live stream and somebody was like, are you going to talk about this? We were like, about what? We've been focused on doing our live stream all day, right?
Yeah.
So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are changing the way that they calculate interest rates on conventional loans only, basically, which means they're going to charge a little bit more on through loan level price adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll recalculate the way that they calculate. So there's always going to be a base rate, and there's going to be additions to it depending on how you're taking out the loan. So
got it.
Down payment, FICO, all this stuff.
Right. So when I used to call you and say, Amber, I've got somebody that wants to get a conventional loan, you would say, oh, if they've got this rate, they're good. They don't have to worry about anything. Now, no matter what rate you have, up or down, there's going to be an adjustment across the board for conventional loans only.
Yeah, if you're putting down a severe amount of money, like a lot of money, then there might not be a price adjustment there.
Okay.
But so down payment does matter, but we'll have to look at more individual now because there's going to be a base rate plus all of your specific additions.
Okay, so the reason we bring this up and the reason we wanted to really define what the heck this was is because the news is out there making it sound like people with better FICO scores are going to pay more money than people with worse FICO scores to subsidize people who are higher risk in getting a loan. That made my head almost pop off last week. I was like, what? How is that even okay to happen, first of all? And what is this, the haves and the have-nots? And now we're just going to equalize it for everyone? So it really didn't make a lot of sense to me. So what I've seen in the news, and I'm just going to read a few headlines because these are grabby, okay? I clicked on them. So if I clicked on them, I'm sure you did too. Biden raises costs for home buyers with good credit to help risky borrowers. All right, not as scary as the next one. Buyer's new mortgage rule punishes home buyers with good credit, making them pay more. Now, do either of those things ring true with what we've read and what we've learned so far about this? I don't even want to call it a program, about this thing.
I think that's a little harsher than what it is. Okay. I don't want to sugarcoat things at all either, but there is some truth, but not truth.
Okay.
Right? Like there's a lot deeper of, like, do you want me to go into it?
Let's go into it, yeah.
Okay, so let's just say you're a 720 FICO score borrower, right? And you're going to put 20% down on a house. So there's a loan level price adjustment to that.
So they're taking the down payment and your FICO score, whereas before they were mostly only looking at your FICO score.
FICO score, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's the difference, everybody. Just paying attention. The difference now is how they calculate it now. Isn't because you have higher whatever, because you have a better rate, now you have to pay more. They're taking that plus your down payment and combining it to decide what they're going to do.
And to combining it, because if you look at this in a foreclosure rate, like if somebody forecloses on a property, there's 30% equity that usually it takes to be able to repay that property.
Right.
So somebody that's putting 20% down doesn't have mortgage insurance on it.
Got it.
So then there's a higher rate on that versus somebody that's putting less money down.
Got it.
Because then there's mortgage insurance to cover it. So if you're looking at it like a risk factor, if we're looking at a market that's going to maybe just increase a little bit or not increase at all, then there might be some risk factors. So if you look at that direction, then that might take away some of those other news article concerns, right?
Got it.
There's another thing to talk about here though too, is that, okay, so like if somebody has higher FICO scores and they're paying a certain rate, and there's somebody else that has lower income and lower FICO scores, they don't have any price adjustments because of the lower income though. So that's what nobody's talking about. Right. Some of these programs that have, where there's an additional price adjustment that probably equates to maybe an 1/8 to 1/4% in interest rate to you.
Right.
Right. There's other programs that are released out there through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, that if they have lower income, then there's no loan level adjustment.
Right. And I actually I was going to put that up here because this is not a program we're talking about. I want to make sure that you guys are hearing us before we keep talking. There are a dozen types of loan programs, right? But the ones that we typically work with are conventional, FHA, VA. Is that it? Am I missing one?
Those are the
main ones. Sorry, I feel like I was missing one.
I mean, there's like bank statements and stuff like that.
But the main loans that we're dealing with, this only applies. All this buzz only applies to conventional loans. The majority of people buying homes in Las Vegas, and we're only speaking about Las Vegas right now, are people utilizing FHA loans. Why? FHA loan limits got raised in the last couple of years. They've also got a lower credit score requirement. There's also a lower down payment. So it's a much easier entry level to the market to be able to buy a house. So FHA loans aren't affected by this. If you're a VA loan, not affected by this.
Yeah. And typically, if somebody, if you're looking at FICO scores and stuff like that, FHA is going to be the better route because their rates are lower than conventional anyway.
Right.
Right. So if you look at it like that, well, then conventional just charging higher rates.
Absolutely.
That's all they're doing, right? So because most people would go FHA that fit within certain categories.
So to boil it all the way down, and we're going to keep talking, please drop your questions for us in the comment box. We're going to do our best to answer it. We're still learning about this stuff, as you know, as we go, but top 200 lender in the nation. Pretty sure we got the best in the business right here, at least one of the top 200 best in the business. So with that being said, they're changing the way they calculate conventional loan credit or interest rates, right? They're now utilizing what you put down for a down payment and what your FICO score is. This is not a blatant black and white. If you have better credit, I'm going to pay more. And if they don't have good credit, I'm paying more because they don't have good credit. That is not a black and white, draw the line in the sand. And that's what, unfortunately, the news is lying to us and saying and spinning things to make us click so that we get enraged as a country. I'm tired of us being enraged as a country because of BS clickbait titles.
Yes.
We are doing our best to give you the truth, and that's why we titled this video The Truth About Biden's New Rule, or whatever the hell you want to call it, because it's, at the end of the day, it's the truth we're giving you. It's the facts. You can take it and turn it into whatever you want it to be, but stop being enraged like I did. I became enraged last week, like reading those headlines.
Is that why you got sick?
Yeah, that's why I got sick. Biden's new rule punishes people with good credit. What? How is this even possible? So because of this, Amber, I know we've had a lot of people asking a lot of questions, but the first question is, so remind us again, how does this differ from the past? for conventional loans, they used to only use FICO, right?
Well, they did. Okay, so for conventional loans, there's always been loan level price adjustments, always.
So this is not new, everyone. There's always been these. Right?
Yeah, there's always been loan level price adjustments. The difference is the loan level price adjustments now depend on more things.
Okay.
So it used to be pretty much FICO. So if you had a certain FICO score, then your loan level price adjustment was this. Loan to value always did make a difference as well, but now it seems to be making a difference a little bit more.
So they've added criteria to the process of depending on what you're going to be getting for your interest rate for conventional loans. Yeah. That's an easy 1, 2, 3 way to put it.
And honestly, before I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, so before this came out last week, remember these adjustments have been in play almost this whole month, April, because
nobody noticed,
loan
by
deliveries.
Yeah.
Nobody noticed because rates are always going like this, right? So then these announcements came out. And honestly, the way that it was worded, I was like, I had to call my law desk and be like, whoa, is there an additional something that's going to be added to loans that I wasn't aware of? And they were like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then they said, no, these were the loan level adjustments that were announced back in January. So like
again, January 19th, we've all been made aware of it. The interest rates are doing this on a daily basis. We've all felt it, especially people who work in the industry and those who are trying to buy a home. So this is not new. This is not something extra. The other thing that it sounds like they're making it feel like is that it's like an extra fee or it's an extra insurance that you're paying, that they're acting like it's something new that's being added on top of your loan.
Yeah. When I read the first article that came to me from your live, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So when I read that first one, I was like, wait, this sounds like an additional insurance, almost like mortgage insurance, but added onto it. So I thought maybe mortgage insurance was going to be adjusted, or there was going to be a different line item with something else that had to do with the new rule based on the article. That's not even the case.
Oh, look at that. Once again, the news. Sorry.
That's not even close to the case. It's already added to the rate. It's been added to the rate for almost a month right now.
Right. This new calculation, but LLPAs have been in rates forever.
They've just changed how they're calculating, but they've been in forever and ever.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not some new insurance fee that you're paying. If you have 720 credit and I have 540 credit, I'm not going to be getting the good deal and you're getting the bad deal. This is across the board for conventional loans only. I just want to continue to reiterate that because everyone thinks all loans and I'm being screwed. That's not the case. In fact, I'm going to throw it right back up here. There are no adjustments to FHA and VA loans, only conventional loans. You're welcome. I'm going to put it on the screen for those of you people who like to read and learn. I'm not an audible learner. I'm a read learner. I'm a tangible, kinesthetic learner. So I want you all to
that's good to
I'm trying to appeal to all of you out there. So, and I want to reiterate something that you said before. There are no loan level price adjustments for some of those new programs that were just announced that are for people who have like certain level of income and below.
Yeah. So these programs, and they're not new. These programs have been there for a while. We just don't use them often because FHA is always better pricing.
Right. FHA typically is a better option. So you don't even put it on the
table. These are for households that are under a certain income, depending on your household size, right? So anybody that's fitting in those household sizes is buying a certain price in house. Usually that price in house fits under FHA as well. But now conventional, we can look and match both up to see who's better. Yeah. So conventional is offering no loan level price adjustments to certain people that are under certain incomes.
So that's awesome. So you can still go that route if FHA doesn't work for you or whatever, if you are under that income. So here's what's great is working with Amber's been a dream since the beginning. Because
thank you.
Well, thank you. Well,
we have a little love fest
we
today.
Do. No, but so Amber's team is really good about getting you on the phone. And that's why I have our phone number scrolling at the bottom. We want to talk to you. We want to learn about your plans to move to Vegas or invest in Vegas. And the reality is Amber's team is really, really good about saying, hey, what's your deal? What's going on up, down, left, or right? And then laying on the table options for you and walking you through those options. So now we know there's an option that might be looked at even further with with the conventional stuff happening. Gives you another option, right? Okay. So some of the questions that have been coming through have been, I don't want to say comical because I don't want to laugh at anybody, but kind of make me giggle a little bit. And I probably would have asked the same question if I didn't do a little more research after last week, reading only those crazy ass headlines. So one of them is, should I lower my FICO score to avoid being charged LLPAs? Like, should I go buy a car or maybe miss a payment and bring myself down so that I can avoid this?
Yeah. So the client that asked this was actually a client with like a 720, 740 FICO score. And she was like, should I lower it to a 680 FICO score so I don't have to pay it? it's not that those people with higher FICO scores are going to pay a higher rate than lower FICO scores. There's loan level adjustments all the way down.
Everyone feels it.
So like today I priced one out with a client with like a 690 FICO score versus a 720 FICO score. And the rate was 0.25% better with the 720 FICO score than it was a 690. So it's not saying they took it away for all the buyers that are lower FICO scores. Like that's where the news
is making it feel like if I have crappy credit, I'm getting the better deal. That's what it makes it sound like.
It just means that there's like the pricing adjustments are a little bit more for everybody right now. So like you're still getting a worse rate if you have lower credit than somebody in a 720. It just, when you're comparing like what was a month ago to now, it's different.
Well, again, this is just conventional loans. Just want to reiterate, just conventional loans.
And honestly, to throw that out there too, when somebody calls me with like a 680 FICO score and you're buying under like a $500,000 house and you're looking to put down minimal down payment, most of the time FHA, even before this, is going to put your payment in a better place.
Right.
So that's what usually would happen is they would go FHA at that point. So just keep in mind, it doesn't change much for what you do. You just have some more options if you fit within a certain income category.
I love it. Another one, same question, different phrasing. Does it still benefit me to have a higher FICO score? Yes, of course it does.
It does.
Better score, always better for everybody, right?
Yeah, because remember, it's going down. So it's like this, it's going down. So better FICO score is always going to be a better rate than the lower FICO score. It's just now you have adjustments when before you didn't, but the lower people still have the adjustment.
They're just charging more money to be able to utilize a conventional loan. That's it. Bottom line, across the board.
Basically, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to be either,
and I think we should say too, like if you don't have a great FICO score, like a certain and above, you're probably not going to get approved for a conventional anyway. That's something to touch on,
that's great.
Right?
Thank you for pointing that out. So here's the thing is, conventional or FHA, they have an automated system that as a lender, we put you're going to put your information into an application. We're going to run you through the automated system to get you an approval, right? So what I'm finding lately is conventional system is a lot more strict on giving approval if you don't look perfect.
All right.
Right. So like I just had a buyer that had like a 700 FICO score, putting down 10%. That's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Right. And then like debt ratio was like 48%. No matter how I ran that, I could not get it to run through. Now, every buyer was different. They're going to look at credit history, amount of time that you've had it, like different things. So I'm not saying don't try conventional, because definitely let's try it so you have the benefits, but don't get stuck on it.
Right.
Because there's other options to it. And then we have to definitely look at a lot of different things.
And Amber is someone who is like a dog with a bone. Sorry to call you a dog, but she really is.
Sometimes
She
I wish I
does not
wasn't.
take no for an answer. So she's going to be the one that'll fight it out and fight for the right program for you. Again, this just affects conventional loans.
Yeah.
The other question that we saw that came through was kind of cute. Hey, Amber, I have really bad credit. I hear that now is the time to buy a house.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
it's always a good time to buy a house, first of all.
If you have really bad credit, it's definitely time to start a game plan. But keep in mind that these adjustments haven't necessarily brought, but actually they haven't brought the credit restrictions down. You still have on conventional, they still only required a 620 or above to be able to get a loan, right? FHA, it's a 580 and above. You can go down to a 540 if you put 10% down. On all of these circumstances, you have to run through an automated approval. Mm-hmm. So like they're going to look at what's been on your credit in the last 12 months, like what you're doing, like your history of everything. Right. So it doesn't change. Like if you have really bad credit, then let's just work a game plan and try to put you on a path to be able to get your scores up for the future so we can do it. But they haven't lowered their credit requirements.
Now, FHA has lowered their credit requirements recently. So if you at one time thought you couldn't buy a home because you had a 560 or 570, 580, good news for you. FHA has recently lowered those credit limits. So you can actually get into an FHA loan. And none of what we're talking about has anything to do with you, but you should still call us, right?
Yeah, the only thing is if you're under 580, it's 10% down.
Correct.
So your down payment might be different, but yeah, you still cost, because honestly, like there's some people that I'll talk to that are like, nah, my credit's too bad or whatever. I pull it, and it might be a simple tweak to just be able to get. I just had one that closed the other day. Their FICO scores were lower, and then we pulled it, right, and then honestly, their credit cards were maxed out. That was the only thing wrong with it. So the minute they paid down their credit cards, their scores jumped up to like a 620.
Yep.
So it could be an easy fix.
And
like
also, just a friendly reminder is a lot of people assume that they know what their credit score is because they're looking at Credit Karma or TransUnion, Equifax. They're trying to do their investigative journalism themselves. Awesome. Love that you're on top of your credit. But the system that Amber's team uses and that mortgage lenders use is different. And it definitely calculates things and looks at things very, very differently. So it's always a good idea to call anyway, even if you think you know what your credit is. We've had people, unfortunately, get bad news and their credit went down when they called us because it didn't weigh things the same as some of those other programs. Or we've had some great news, more this than the latter.
Yes, we love
people
that.
Who have called them, what? It's 100 points higher than I thought. What? It's
and
70
that's not
points
a lie.
higher.
Like,
that's absolutely not a lie. So
that's how much different those systems are sometimes. It's crazy.
Interesting that those systems tell you that your credit's slipping, and then they offer you programs and things that you can pay for to get your credit to go up. How interesting is that?
Yeah, I didn't think about that until you said that. I'm like, oh, that's right. This is a paid service.
How
isn't
interesting. So please don't assume that you know. There is a no judgment zone here. Bing, bing, no judgment, judge-free zone. We've all had bad credit. We've had stuff happen in our lives. Everyone has. Life happens. The most important thing is that you don't let life continue to happen in the dark, right? Open the blinds. Call these two rays of sunshine right here and let us really showcase to you what can possibly be for your future so that you can start your investing journey earlier rather than later.
Love it.
The last question that I think I've even been asking is, Amber, when's this LLPA adjustment, how their recalculation, how they're, for conventional loans, they're now looking at calculating LLPAs differently. When's this going to go away?
Well,
oh man, that face. Hold on.
I know.
Damn, searing through me here.
So it's searing through you. Was I giving you a dirty look?
You're giving me a little bit. I was like, sorry.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Okay, so once they make changes like this, they don't usually get better. They usually get worse. And okay, so what's on the table right now? It looks like there's additional price adjustments, loan level price adjustments that are happening in August. That has to do with debt to income ratio. And I don't know how they're going to be calculating. It's something that's not out until August.
So you mean they're going to add more criteria that might affect all of us and cost more money to us when we're using conventional loans in August?
And we thought the feds were the only ones raising rates.
Please. You know what that tells me is it's time to buy a freaking house.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting better.
It's not going to get any better. So quick reminder, again, I've said it 93 times. I'm going to put it on the screen. FHA and VA loans are not affected by these LLPA stuff that we're talking about. People with good credit are not being punished. We're all being punished. Let's take our whip things together. And really, it is still a good time to buy a house, especially here in Las Vegas. You know, we are seeing inventory shift a little bit, but we are a little bit low on inventory.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Depending on your price point, we are seeing some multiple offers on homes. That's really happened over the last couple of weeks, but we are still also seeing new homes with standing inventory, so you can get into a quick new home build for very low money. We're also seeing a lot of sellers start to come to the market now to want to list their home and get out of it because for one reason or another. So if you're interested in buying a home, Amber and I are here for you. We want to definitely give you the opportunity to at least ask the questions privately that you know are burning in your mind with no judgment. So we're going to answer your questions here in just a minute, but I want to remind you the entire reason that we do these live streams is for you. It's all about you. We want to make sure that you know that we are an open and ready resource for you here in Las Vegas and wherever else she's licensed to answer your questions. So please call the number, text the number, or there is an absolutely beautiful link in the description below of whatever video you're watching on whatever platform you're watching. Please click the link in the description. Please call us today. Fill out a form. We will reach out to you. Make sure you give us good information. We want to talk to you today. Strike while the iron's hot, and it's hot.
It is hot. Yeah, it is hot. You know, the one thing that comes to my mind when you're talking though too of it is, this has always been the case. But what's the old saying? Those that have the money make the rules, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's that. Yeah, has and has not. Yeah.
So I mean,
it's all a conspiracy, right?
But I mean, when you're talking about like Fannie Mae is the one lending, and we kind of miss sometimes how much of a gift it is to be lent, like $400,000, $500,000
for
a lot of people
act like it's a right. It's actually a gift.
It is really a gift, and when you're putting down less than like a 20% down payment, that's a real gift that hasn't been there for a long time. You know, where we have PMI to be able to make up the difference to it. So it is a gift. It still is a very, like, to be able to own your own future, get into your own house, and the way that our lending system happens right now is still a gift.
Yeah,
if it changes a little bit right now, like it has been, it's still a gift, and it's better than most countries that you go to.
I listen, I love that you said that. I think that's very beautifully said. That's why a lot of people from other countries do want to come here, establish it, because they want to be able to take advantage of the gifts that we have before us. A couple of questions here. Howard came on and said, if your credit score is lower, you'll get a better interest rate. If your credit score is higher, you'll have to pay extra fees in order to help the people with lower FICO scores, ? Nope. That's exactly the opposite of what we said, Howard. I hope you were able to listen to what we were talking about today. That's what the news is trying to make us feel and believe. And that is not the case at all. This applies only to conventional loans. This applies to everyone who's utilizing a conventional loan, except for those who are in that lower income bracket, who are part of a different program. This is already been a part of what we're doing. It's just simply a recalculation of how they dole out the interest rates to each and every level of the FICO score ranges, right? This is not lower. This is not the higher income or higher FICO paying for the lower. We're all getting charged something now.
Like I explained a little bit earlier, but I ran a scenario today with somebody with a 690 FICO score compared to somebody with a 720 FICO score. And the person with a 720 FICO score, their rate was 0.25% better on today's pricing than the one with the 680. So you're still going to pay higher rates as you go lower. It's just that there's the ones that have higher FICO scores are going to pay a little bit higher than they would have compared to like last month.
Right. So it's not that they're going to pay higher because people with lower credit scores have done something wrong. It's genuinely they're just charging more money. Charging more money across the board. Conventional costs more money to anybody and everybody, no matter what your credit score is, to utilize it. That's the bottom line. But thank you for commenting. We really appreciate it. Ron the Future. Hey, buddy. Haven't seen you here in a while. Good to see you. Hi, Laci and Amber. Lila Mikado says, I think it says Mikado, says, hello. I'm finally checking you gals out live. Hi, Lila. Thanks for being here. Basics from Mosa. Fix your finances before getting any kind of loans. Hey, that's a great basic. I think that's awesome. But a lot of people don't really understand what fixing your finances looks like.
Get a game plan.
Get your game plan going. You know who gives the best game plans in the world? Boom, this girl right here. So give us a call. We'd love to help you for sure. DLVTT says, how can I get good credit rating as a foreigner? Will a high down payment on a house get a better credit score, or will 100% down payment get the best credit score? 100% down payment is buying it cash.
Yeah, you're buying it cash with 100% down payment, so you don't have anything that shows up on your credit there.
Right.
But that's great if you could do that. As a foreigner, it depends on if you have a social security number, then you'd have to probably get credit cards and then start working that system with keeping the balances lower and stuff like that. So as a foreigner, to be able to get a loan to be able to place on your credit, then you'd have to have a social security number. So I guess the social security number. Otherwise, you can do a foreign national loan, which those loans won't necessarily show on your credit because you don't have credit without a social, like United States credit without a social, but it'll show that you have a house. And then, like, let's say you had to do a foreign national and then you came to the United States and then you decided to, get your social and everything else, then we could refinance that loan on your social at that point.
Yeah.
But the social security is the most important part there.
DLVTT, I know you've actually commented for quite a while. So grateful for you always following our channel and commenting. Really don't know if you've already called Amber, but why don't you call Amber? Maybe we can do a little bit of a 1-2 punch and have a conversation. And I know you definitely are planning to move, and I know you've been visiting lately because I've been watching your Instagram. So definitely let us know how we can help you. Let's get on the phone and answer some one-on-one questions so that we're actually able to dig in further. Greg Smith. Hey, Greg. Good to see you. So nice to see you as always.
Mr. Greg.
Thank you for all of your hard work, ladies. 2 crazy Montanaans coming next week to get everything figured out. Amber has been awesome to start our process. Thanks again. Thank you so much, Greg. We really appreciate you.
We're excited for you.
And then follow up to DLVTT says, I'm only having an ITIN, a tax number, to move.
Okay, so if you have an ITIN number, you're already paying taxes in the United States. So with an ITIN number, you can do a loan. Actually, with an ITIN number, you can establish credit on credit. So, yeah, let's talk. Let's get that all worked out.
Might be closer than you think. I think that I've heard you say that before, and I know nothing about her world, but I think.
And I know I'm working with somebody with ITIN number. I don't know by the name if it's you.
I don't know, but please let us know.
Let me know though. Let's talk.
Robert White. Hey, Robert. Thanks for tuning in. Says, do too many credit card pulls hurt credit? If so, how many? Good question.
That is a great question. Yeah. Okay. So when you're pulling credit, remember that, everything's categorized different. So mortgages are going to be categorized different than car loans, than credit cards. And if you're pulling in every category at the same time, absolutely, because the bureaus are going to be like, whoa. We're trying to do too much at the same time, right? But if you're only going for a mortgage, you usually have typically 3 to 4 pulls within a certain period of time before it starts dipping your scores, and usually it'll dip it by a couple points if you go above that. That way you have the option to shop around.
Yeah. So credit cards, though, hard credit. Oh, I thought it said credit card. Hard credit pulls. I think I read it saying credit card.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that was a weird flip that I did. Hard credit pulls. Do too many hard credit pulls hurt credit? That is a tongue twister. Sorry, you read it the right way. So yeah. So I think to your point, categorically, you have to be careful. But
yeah.
Across the board, you have to be careful. Categorically, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? So 3 to 4 within 30 days ish.
Yeah, and that's mortgage. I don't know how like the auto loan stuff works and the
I don't know
credit
either.
works, but
I do know that a lot of people who go to rent homes and they try to apply to 7 or 8 rentals at one time, those are not considered, because they're all different types of companies and things like that. That's not necessarily considered mortgage and loans, and it really can ding their credit badly. So once again, I know you guys think,
seriously?
Yeah, I know you can think that you know your credit, but you have no idea. Let's just be very honest. And if you do, then we'll give you a gold star when you call. And if you say it's 620 and it's actually 624, boom, within 5 points we'll give you a gold star. But with that being said, Amber's team is going to be the one who can actually pull and look and really not only pull and see where you stand, but tell you what you need to do to get it to go up from where it is. So she's the best in the biz. DLVTT says he's going to be back soon, and he will contact you, Amber. So we haven't heard from you yet.
Okay, we haven't
You've
talked
been
yet.
saying that for a minute, so I'm ready for that to be an actuality, because I want to meet you too. And next time you visit, you better reach out to me. That's all I have to say. I see you on Instagram all the time, and I'm like, hey, why didn't I get a phone call? So
I probably need to follow you on Instagram.
I probably do.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, so we hope that we brought some truth and some light into this crazy world. Please do yourself a huge favor. Listen to the people who are working in the industry day to day. Don't do too much clickbait. The things like mortgage rule is punishing home buyers with good credit and it's making them pay more.
We don't like the hate.
That's also not the reality.
Yeah.
The reality is we're all paying more, those of us who are using a conventional loan, and it's going to be calculated differently moving forward. That's the bottom line. We hope that we were able to answer some of your questions, and we hope that we maybe gave you a little bit of a smile and went, oh, okay, I thought it was something else. Because if you're an FHA loan or a VA loan, or you're trying to do another program, this has nothing to do with you. But you know what does have to do with you? We need to talk to you today. So click the link in the description. Obviously, text us or call us on the phone number on the screen. Amber, thank you as always for being rad.
Thanks for coming to my office too. I get to rub shoulders with Laci.
We're gonna go have lunch. Stay tuned. Our next live stream. So we promised we were gonna do this one. We did it. Our next live stream is gonna be over a beautiful dinner. We're gonna enjoy.
You decide?
I have decided where we're going. So we're gonna have a lovely dinner at a really cool restaurant here in Las Vegas, and we're gonna basically just do an AMA. Ask us anything. Ask me anything throughout the whole dinner while you watch us. I don't know why you want to watch us eat, but while you watch us eat food. So stay tuned. That's going to be announced in the next couple of days. It'll likely be next week. But otherwise, I'm going to go enjoy the sunshine. I don't know about you, but I'm loving the weather finally.
I know. This is Laci weather. I think about that when I'm walking outside.
I'm ready to go.
Warming up.
It's pool season, baby. If you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, we want to hear from you, whether it's now or 20 years from now. We want to get you from where you are to where you want to be right here in our neon hometown. We love you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye, guys.